Well, here in Missouri once more, we're visiting another Lutheran church, as we did in Columbus, Indiana, to start this broadcast. Frohna, Missouri is where we are, at Concordia Lutheran Church. And Denise Morrison and Bill Bach have joined us here to talk a bit about this congregation with a very rich heritage, right, Bill? It goes back a ways.
Yes, it goes back to 1839 when the Saxon immigration settled this Perry County area.
I'll come to you for a little more background on this church in just a moment, the structure itself. But Denise, you're so decked out for the holidays here. It's a wonderful atmosphere in this church. Some of you work together to make that happen, don't you?
Yes, we do. There's a group of ladies that get together and do the inside, and some of the guys help too. And then the outside, the guys and the ladies, it's a different crew though. So we have two different crews that decorate. Some do the inside and some do the outside.
There's quite a bit to it. I would imagine you're into somewhat of a routine annually now, correct?
Oh, yes. We have a tendency to do the garland and the wreaths first, and then we follow up with the Christmas tree, the altar, and then we move to the narthex.
Do you plan to make a few changes every year, or do you keep the decorations pretty much the same?
Every year we change it just a little bit. Don't get real elaborate because we sort of all like what we have, but as time goes on, things get a little older or outdated, and it just seems nice to have something new. A couple of years ago we changed what was in the windows. 2 years ago we got a different tree, so it just makes things different and fun.
Is Christmas the only time of the year that you decorate here at Concordia?
No, we decorate in the fall also. We have what's called a Harvest Home Festival, and we decorate with produce from the fields and then also produce from the gardens. And then that, some of it stays for all the way until Thanksgiving.
Bill, you mentioned the settlement here. This church goes back quite some time, and a German settlement, and this is a fairly old community here, isn't it?
Yes, in fact, Frohna was settled by 12 young families together with their pastor. Initially, they worshiped in the pastor's home until they could build a church, which was a very simple little log cabin in 17 feet by 27 feet, because it was just a small group. That was built in 1843 to 44, and then when they outgrew that in 1854, they built a larger stone church, built out of limestone, which was dug out of the ground locally. And this church was then built in 1874, because they were at the point, they had been using the log cabin as their school, and they didn't have enough room anymore, so the question was, shall we build a new church or a new school? They decided on the church and built this building in 1874 then, and it has served ever since that time.
I can't help but notice how modern, though, the interior looks. It has been restored at some point along the way, and in a very beautiful manner.
It's been restored numerous times. In 1849 is when the center aisle was put in. Before that, there were 2 side aisles only. Then in 2006, when we did a complete renovation, stripping the walls down to the bare walls, and then restoring it to try to keep everything appearing as close to possible as it was originally.
And your background is in the construction business, so I'm sure you applied some of your skills right here on the site. You built homes for a living, right?
Yes, we did. And we built a lot of the homes around the area here, served the community, and also doing plumbing and heating work. I was retired only about 2 years before this church was built, so I volunteered my time for the entire time of the remodeling.
You can see the belfry easily here, and the steeple at this church, is it a working bell?
Yes, it is. There's a little interesting story with that. When this church was built, there was a young men's society here, and they also wanted to contribute something special to the church, so they decided they wanted to furnish the bell. So several of the young men went to St. Louis, to a place where bells were available. And when they heard the prices of the bells, they knew they couldn't afford that. So they asked the man there if they didn't have anything else. He said, well, I do have one back here that's got a little flaw in it. And asked them how much money they had, and they told them that, well, I can sell it to you for that price. So they purchased the bell, brought it in here.
Discounted.
Yes, considerably. They installed the bell then, and believe it or not, that bell is still being used, ringing every week.
The flaw has handled the responsibility just, and how long? How long has it been?
Since 1874 or 75 when they got the bell.
They got a good deal on that, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Denise Morrison, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Bill Buck, Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Wir wünschen euch ein fröhliches Weihnachten auch.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate the visit here, and we wish you well for a very happy 2024 ahead.
Thank you.
you.